what is up, Beta? This is ominousacid95. I'm bringing you another Pokemon Black and White 2 Wi-Fi battle. This is my second upload to this channel, so I hope you guys enjoy this. This is a battle against Necrostevo, who actually recently got to upload to PMP main, so congrats for him for that. Okay, so he actually is a really cool guy. He EV trains and IV breeds and stuff like that himself, so that's really cool. Go check him out for that. And yeah, let's just get into team preview. On my end, I have the Genesect, which is gonna be Choice Scarfed. I use this one in Ubers just because my normal ones got deleted. It's really stupid, just my normal Genesects that I use in OU were suddenly gone. So I guess that I saved the wrong save file onto my ace card, but whatever. This Genesect actually packs the Ice Beam, U-Turn, Iron Head and the Explosion, which is really good in Ubers for just revenge killing stuff. And then I do have the Sub SD Salak Garchomp, and as the name implies, it's going to have Substitute, Swords Dance, and then the Salak Berry, which raises your speed by 1 stage when you get below 25% of your health. Then it's gonna have Dragon Claw and Earthquake as dual stabs. Then especially defensive Ferrothorn with spikes, toxic spikes, the Pain Split, and the Rapid Spin, which is a great Ferrothorn counter just because Ferrothorn can't do anything to it, and it can just Rapid Spin the hazards away, Pain Split up from Iron Barb's damage, and so on. Then I have a Choice Specs Jellicent, and I didn't know why, but I wanted to use a Jellicent, but I didn't want to use a defensive one, so I figured, okay, let's use this one. It's gonna have the Water Spout, Surf, and the Shadow Ball, and the Ice something, I don't remember the last move, sorry. And then the Conkeldurr, it's gonna have the Rock Slide, Payback, the Ice Punch, and the Mach Punch, and it's gonna have the Guts Flame Orb combination. Then my Dragonite is gonna be an original set by myself. It's gonna have Home Claws, or Own Claws as I sometimes like to call it, and then the Dragon Rush and Hurricane, and then Roost just for recovery. On my opponent's side, he has got a Sableye, which is most likely just gonna be supportive with the Prankster ability with Willow and stuff like that. Then the Gengar, which I am always fearing to be sub-disable. That's the Gengar set that I find most effective though, and Choice Scarf, but that's not that viable. Then you got the Hitmontop actually. The Hitmontop is a big defensive threat in combination with Cresselia, just because fighting Psychic is a good combination, and it also packs some punch itself, so that's something to look out for. Then the Lucario, which is gonna be really dangerous once it gets up an SD or agility if he does have that, and then a Cresselia, as I said, as a defensive threat. Then Sharpedo, which is most likely just gonna be physically offensive with Speed Boost, Protect and such like that, like Crunch and then Ice Fang and Waterfall, something like that. But I shouldn't have any problem with the Sharpedo most likely. So without further ado, I hope you guys enjoy, and please sit back. Okay, so I'm going to be leading off with my Genesect, which is Choice Scarfed. I'm figuring, okay, I can outspeed any of it, can just U-turn out, unless he leads off with the Sableye, and if he leads off with the Sableye, I can see whether it is physically defensive or specially defensive, because when my attack is raised from download, he is specially defensive. If my special attack is raised, he is physically defensive. Now, it turns out that he is specially defensive, but I'm just gonna U-turn out on the off chance that he does want to go for the Will-O-Wisp, even though the substitute is pretty obvious. Steven is a great player, so the switch into Conkeldurr was really obvious, so it was an easy prediction on his part. But if he did want to go for the Will-O-Wisp, I could have my Guts activated. If he didn't, I could have my Flame Orb activated. Through that also my Guts. And he can't do too much to me. The best thing that he can do is go for the Taunt, predicting me to be a substitute or bulk up set, because why waste a free sub if you do have a chance to maybe block a bulk up or sub. Okay, so I do decide to go for the Ice Punch just because it is 100% accurate. I can just break through his sub because I'm sure that it will break it, just because he's specially defensive, not physically defensive, and maybe even then it would have taken out his sub. Now he goes into Cresselia right here, which is a great play on his part, just because Cresselia can pretty much wall this Conkeldurr to eternity, but he doesn't know that I have the payback yet. I do not want to show that yet, just this early in the match. So what I'm gonna do is make sure that he maybe think like, okay, so he has Rock Slide, he has Ice Punch, Drain Punch and Mach Punch, something like that. So as I go into Guard Jump right here, he actually shows that he has the Reflect, so it's most likely dual screens. Now, even though this Cresselia is dual screens and he has the attack boost, or not the attack boost, the defense boost from the Reflect, I'm free to set up a substitute, and he actually decides to go for Toxic, so it's great that I set up the substitute and not being too greedy to set up the Swords Dance. But I'm gonna do that this turn as he switches out into Hitmontop. I'm figuring, okay, Hitmontop is defensive, he can't break my sub too easily, at least he won't do that much, but it actually appears that he is a little more offensive, so that Mach Punch will actually break my sub as I set up another Swords Dance. Now, I'm not going to be too greedy right here, and I make a rather dumb play and go for the Dragon Claw next turn, after he breaks me down to about 140 if I'm correct. Yeah, exactly 140. HP with a Mach Punch, and I go for the Dragon Claw. Why this is a good thing actually, I did not know this. I didn't really calc that or something, but it's gonna leave him with a little bit of HP, which enables him to go for a Mach Punch, knock me into Salic Barrier range, 23 HP. I can knock him out with the Rough Skin. I should have thought about it, I didn't pay attention to that, and I could have gone for a Swords Dance being at +6 and most likely have the game in my pocket. Or not necessarily the game, but I could have done a little bit more. But he goes into Lucario here, so I'm figuring, okay, I do not want to switch out him at a really low amount of HP. He'll probably kill me off with an Extreme Speed anyways. But he does go for the Extreme Speed, I find that rather odd, but it appears that he didn't carry it. He brought the wrong Lucario, if I remember correctly that he said. But he, at least he has the Focus Sash, so that is really fortunate for him. And he goes for the Aura Sphere, and he takes me out. So I go into Genesect right here, just because I can outspeed it, because I'm fairly sure that he doesn't have the Extreme Speed, and then the Extreme Speed won't do too much. And I can just kill him with the U-turn, because I know he's at 1 HP, so it will definitely kill, even though it's quad resisted. Now, he decides to go into Sableye right here, which I find, okay, it's, yeah, I guess that's the thing that wants to take it the most, because it's kind of bulky. And as I U-turn out, I go into my Conkeldurr once again, because it perfectly counters this this Sableye. I do not want to counter it actually, don't want to say that, because eventually he can actually stall me out. If he decides to go for a lot of subs and recovers, he might actually stall me out of burn damage. So he decides to go for the Recover right here, and I go for the Rock Slide. I have no idea why I wanted to go for the Rock Slide. I just figured, okay, it might do more, but I was like, oh no, wait, Rock Slide has the same amount of hit points, or not hit points, power points. No, not power points as well, base power, that's what I'm trying to say, as the Ice Punch. So I'm figuring, okay, I can go for the Ice Punch this turn, because it does the same amount of damage, basically. And I can actually have the 100% accuracy as well, as he does want to set up a substitute, so I'm sure that I'll break it and do not want to be tortured by that, which means that he can stall me for one more turn recovering. And what he does decide to do is go to Cresselia. I do not want to predict that again, just because I'm not sure whether I do want to do that. And I go for the Ice Punch. It does a decent amount, if I say so myself. I'm sorry for that. I just had a big glass of Coke, so that's why. So he goes to Moonlight right here. I'm figuring, okay, well, this is the best time to go for the payback, I guess. Just because it does a lot of damage, and he's not going to attack me anyways. And if he does decide to have like Psyshock, I'm fairly sure that it will actually deal me down to a low amount of HP, and actually want to stay alive for a little bit. So the payback knocks him almost down into the high red, so it's really low yellow. And he actually calced this, and I did too, by the way, afterwards. It would do 38 to 46 HP, and he had like 100 something. So I got a crit here, which actually didn't matter, so that's really good for me actually. Now, the burn damage is gonna leave me at 6 HP, which enables me to go for another Mach Punch, but actually he decides to go into his Sableye, and he actually forces me to not go for the Mach Punch. I guess like, okay, fine, I can just go for an Ice Punch, and that will do a hefty amount of damage before I die. Because I figure, okay, I'm at such low amount of HP, why would I switch out? And I am actually going to knock him down into a range where he is just not going to be able to set up his substitute next turn, even after leftovers. Okay, so what I'm going to do is going to Jellicent, which, as I said in Team Preview, is a Choice Specs one. Now, I'm fairly sure that he will want to go either for the Recover or switch out, and to anything that wants to come in, even the Sharpedo, which resists it. The Water Spout at full HP from a max special attack modest 1 should do a great amount of damage. Now, as he decides to go for the Recover, that is I thought like, okay, well, you can't expect a Choice Specs one because it's really uncommon. Okay. So that actually knocks him out, and he goes into Lucario, because if he wants to go into Gengar, his Gengar is most likely Choice Scarfed if he wants to preserve that, because he can outspeed it. And what he wants to do is do a lot of damage, because if he's not like Expert Belt or Choice Specs, he can't actually take me out. I actually calc that. He has to be Expert Belt or Life Orb or Choice Specs, and mostly they are leftovers or Black Sludge. And I mostly run Choice Scarf, which isn't as viable, but it works. Now he takes me out with the Thunderbolt, which means that he is Expert Belted or Choice Specs, and I'm actually gonna guess here that he is Choice Specs, because why would you use Expert Belt? Actually, I find that rather odd on Gengar. Now I go into Genesect again. I'm figuring, okay, I can just scout out what he will want to do, and I can go for the U-turn as I go into Arbiter, which is my Fortress. Just because Fortress and Ubers actually like to carry Red Card, I do not do that. I do not carry the Red Card, but I find the nickname kind of cool. It's like referee in German. Even though my German is horrible. But yeah, I'm actually myself from the Netherlands, but I can speak a bit of German. Anyways, rambling on. I'm gonna go back to the game. He actually switches out into his 5th poke. He has this one left and the Gengar. And I set up the spikes. I wanted to go for the Toxic Spikes, but I guess it doesn't matter because he wanted to stay in. If he wanted to stay in, either would have been great, but the Toxic Spikes would have been more viable. So, as he does want to attack me, I figured, okay, why not? He might go for the Protect, but then anyways, he probably knows that I have the Pain Split. I might actually not, because there are some options that are greater in it, like Gyro Ball or Volt Switch. Now, as he goes into for Waterfall once again, I'm just gonna keep Pain Splitting, and at a little point later in this match, excuse me for that, I'm actually going to go for a Rapid Spin. Now, we are just gonna leave this a little bit to be, as we have a lot of after turn effects just because of my leftovers and his speed boost. You get that a lot. I'm not too concerned about the speed boost anyways, just because I do have my Dragonite left, and even if he has the Ice Fang / Ice Beam, I can actually take a hit most probably. I'm actually fairly sure about that, because Dragonite is really bulky, and with the Multi Skill it halves the damage that is taken. Now I actually get a crit on the Rapid Spin, which is great, just because that means that he can't get another hit off, just because Life Orb damage, as you guys can see, it knocks him down into low red, which leaves him with only one attack after this. And what I'm gonna do right here is I figure, okay, I can go into Dragonite, and what I can do here is go for the Roost, as he decides to go for maybe an Ice move or an attack just to take himself out, but he decides to go for the Protect. See what I wanted to do. What I could have done here maybe is a Home Claws, but I figured, okay, what is he gonna do to me? I can just Roost up to take a hit from the Gengar. Now he just decided to go for the Ice Beam as he carries that. That is a kind of cool option because it's really unpredictable. And right here I do figure, okay, I'm just gonna go for the Roost once again to get enough up at such a high amount of HP that I can at least take a hit from the Gengar, which is his last Pokemon. The Gengar, the Night Light, as he called it. I actually really like that nickname. It's really cool. And he goes for the T-Bolt. I guess that's his best option to hit me. I don't know why, because I do have my other pokes left. Yeah, of course, that's why I didn't go for the Shadow Ball, just because the insect and stuff. Okay, so I do go for the Hurricane here. That's my strongest option, and if I do want to miss, I actually can live another T-Bolt and take him out after that. Okay, so as I take Life Orb damage, that is the end of the game. I hope you guys enjoyed this narration. If you did, you're welcome to leave a like for Beta. Go check out my channel, and if you like my content, subscribe there. So, as I said, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time, and have a nice day furthermore. Thank you.